Everybody. So today we're going to talk about a little biography sort of thing called The Thread That Runs So True. There it is. It's by Jesse Stuart, whose name you can't really see very well on the cover. That's a little bit of a problem. But anyway, it's about his life I would say from about 17 to 32-ish, so a few years of his life, where he was very involved in the educational system in a rural, not town, a rural county in Kentucky, where he was born and raised, and eventually he became a teacher. And later on, he does other jobs where he's a superintendent, he's a principal for a little while. He just jumps around and doesn't really stay in a place for very long, which makes for some interesting stories and interesting things going on. I know it probably sounds a little bit boring, like, oh, it's just about him teaching, but it's very interesting to see another place and another time. The types of decisions and the type of things that he has to do are very different. This takes place in the 1920s and 30s. And is in a very rural part of Kentucky. A lot of times there's no plumbing. Very few people have plumbing. Very few people have electricity. There's a place where he lives at one point where for about half the year, or at least like a third of the year or so, nobody leaves the tiny little place that they are because of the bad weather, and there's only dirt roads to get anywhere. So there's just zero communication. It's just a very different time and a very different way of living that I just found fascinating. Also, the stories aren't, you would expect them to be like, oh, a parent coming in and being like, I don't like the way that you teach little Timmy. He deserves to be in second grade now, and blah, blah, blah. That doesn't happen at all. We talk a lot about about schools these days having to be parents, but they really always had to be that way, at least from what I have seen in this book. There's a lot of fights that have to be broken up. There's a lot of, honestly, gunslinging. If somebody doesn't like you in this part of Kentucky, they're going to come after you with brute force. And so it's a lot about dealing with the people there, and the choices that Jesse has to make in order to try to keep the school running, but also at risk of his life, honestly. And so you really don't think of teaching as a life-threatening occupation, but Jesse, he is very progressive in his thoughts and his feelings about teaching, and so his way of thinking really just riles up some people. And it's fascinating. I enjoy learning about things and places and people that I would not otherwise have encountered. And so this biography-ish sort of thing is just so interesting to me because there's no other way that I would learn about these types of people, their mindset, and anything like that. So I just really like it. It's really pleasant to read. There's, of course, the gunslinging danger stories, but there's also like the sweet, happy stories where people become friends and students learn and get better and are encouraged. So there's a nice balance between the two. And of course, because he never stays in one job for more than a year, you get lots of variety and lots of different things going on. So it's really engaging and very much a relaxed sort of read. The chapters are very, very short, and it's just really, really sweet. That's all I have to say about it. It's a really sweet book. I really like it, and it has some interesting things to say about a different time period and different types of people than you would probably meet, and it's just really good. So I like it a lot, and you should read it. So next time we're going to finish the Percy Jackson series, and I'm so excited to get done with that. I have 7 books left to read in this whole entire project that I have taken on. So we're getting near the end, guys. It's exciting. And I'll see you for the next one. Bye!